good. So at least they didn't have the whole fuel line cylinder coated. A little bit of wax, but at least it's not like a whole comb was around it. Let's see if we can shine a little light in there so we see they got most of the comb is drawn up towards the top, which is a good thing. And I can tell by the color the comb is a little darker brown, so it's still hard to tell how long they've been in there, but it's not that huge of a colony, so that's a good thing. So step 2, I believe, let's try to get a trap out cone set up. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to gently smoke the bees away from this little neck piece. Right here is their main entrance where the gas can comes out. So I'm going to try to get the bees away so I can get a piece of window screen that's formed into a cone. Only the size of about one bee can go in and out, and that'll be the next step. So let's see how that goes. Anybody see the queen yet? First one that sees the queen gets an ice cream. Figured it'd be a good idea to set up a shade canopy to keep some of the heat off, because that comb in there will melt quickly. So you'll see it's casting a nice shadow that covers the whole area. And at this time, of course, we got the bees that are congregating up towards the top here, but they're not clustering. If they'll cluster, I assume the queen would be up there. And I do have a cotton ball with lemongrass oil on the top of the box, because I want them to be drawn down to the box that I want them to go in. Honeybees have a greater heightened sense of smell than dogs. Seeing big old drones flying in the air, so I know the cone is big enough to let the drones out. So I'll call this some progress here. Not too bad, not too bad. start. Not a bad start. Well, folks, I came back to check on them, and I had to relocate the new box for a minute. As you'll see, the gas tank is there with the trap out cone on the front. But here we go. This is what I saw before. Little Miss Queenie Pants must have came out of the tank, and most of the bees followed her up there. So I'm gonna see if I have enough time to run home, grab my bucket and the stick. There's a ladder over here already. I'll try to shake them down, and I moved the nuke box right there. So we got a cotton ball with lemongrass oil on it. I kind of dabbed around the sides and puts a couple dabs on the top. There's pretty much no bees on the front. So I hope by the time I get back with my bucket and a stick on the pole there, the bees will be all clustered on the front. So here we go. Let's see. I should have came over here prepared, but go figure. That's what I get. Alright. Back in a minute.
A few moments later.
Okay, folks, and we're back. You'll see here I got a 12-foot ladder, and I got my infamous bucket on a conduit pole here. Nice long extension. And the bees are way up there. It's a small cluster. Don't know if you can really see them that well, but what I'm going to try to do is just basically shake them. And I got the nuke box right here with the top cover turned upside down, so after I shake them, I'll just dump them into the top here and close it up real quick, and we'll see what happens. Well, I'm not sure how much of that you saw. It's kind of a leafy cluster material, so they didn't really fall when I jarred them, and there's still a big old cluster of bees up there. Try this again. This might be a better angle for you. Well, got a little more bees on that attempt. No tremendous difference there. Again, I keep on getting the bees off the branch completely from what I see. They go airborne and then they cluster up again. But the nuke box Seems to be pretty active. At worst, I'm making the bees know that the box is here with the lemongrass oil. So again, a swarm, all they do is they look for a place to call home. So even if they do go back up into the tree, I'm assuming they'll eventually come back down and make their way into the box. That's the assumption anyhow. So again, I'm going to wait again. I'll wait about 15 minutes this time and see what happens. I'll turn the camera off and bring you back along for the ride. I did spend some time puffing some smoke into the inlet here. Wasn't a whole lot of bees coming out of the cone, so I'm pretty sure we got most of the bees out of the gas tank. I'm going to keep on repeating what I'm doing. I'm actually shaking down more sticks and twigs than I am bees. But I think the method works. Basically, the bees know the box is over here. Again, I'm using the bucket on a conduit pole, 12-foot ladder. And I move the nuke box off top the gas tank and set it up here. So there's a good handful, but it's about 7:15 p.m. Now, what you guys also did not see is I had some happenings over here with these colonies. I know the swarm in the tree is not from these colonies because I just checked that hive on the left, and there's a queen in it. And that hive right there on the nuke, that used to be two 10-frame boxes. I had a 10-frame deep on the bottom and a 10-frame medium size on the top. But the problem there was that there was only about 5 seams of bees, and I saw quite a few frames in there that had some wax moth hive beetle issues. So instead of leaving them with all that empty space, I basically reduced them. So I found the queen. She's in the bottom. That particular colony is okay. I hope they rebound. And what I did with the top medium box, I put it on this colony here. This colony wasn't a single medium. They're wall-to-wall slam packed with bees, tons of bees. So to make sure they don't want to swarm, I went ahead and I put the box, I checkerboarded some of the drawn. There's 5 frames in there, so I checkerboarded the 5 frames of drawn comb with some empty frames and put it right on top there. And of course that nuke there has a swarm in it that I captured recently from my oak tree. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try one more time to shake the bees out of the palm tree, and I'm going to take this whole board and everything. I'm going to lift up this whole board with the box on it, and I'm going to move it back over there to the gas tank. So stay tuned in, folks. More on the way.